I did my presentation on medical marijuana. My name is Haley Bollinger. The definition of marijuana is cannabis, commonly known as marijuana and by numerous other street names, and it is a preparation of the cannabis plant intended for use as a psychoactive drug and as a medicine. Why are some people against the medication? Many people are against the medication because they're uneducated on what the plant can actually do to help others. They have heard false information from friends, family, and maybe even some doctors, and they don't know the benefits of the medication because the medication can help people with glaucoma, cancer, and many other illnesses. And they think that the drug is addicting. However, it is not addicting. It's actually far less addicting than alcohol and tobacco. And they also think it is dangerous, but it's nearly impossible to overdose on marijuana. Street names for marijuana are weed, pot, dope, Mary Jane, a blunt, and a roach. And this picture has many different street names in it. This is a little bit of history on the plant. It was used by Xin Yang, a Chinese emperor, in 2727 BC as a medication. It was also used by Egyptians in 1213 BC for glaucoma and inflammation. It was used as a medication then also. In 1538, the hemp was used during the Middle Ages for people who were sick and ill, and also with other diseases. In 1774, it was documented that Thomas Jefferson actually grew hemp. In 1850, marijuana was added to the U.S. Pharmacopoeia, and in 1918, the U.S. Government grew over 60,000 pounds annually. In 2003, the first patient ever in history received government-grown marijuana for medical reasons. In 2014, New York became the 23rd state to legalize marijuana. This chart shows some of the ingredients in marijuana and the chemicals in it. This group is cannabinoids, this group is terpenoids, and this group is flavonoids. The main chemical in marijuana is THC, which is the chemical that actually causes a person to feel like they're high. And the chemical affects the user psychologically. There are hundreds of chemicals in medical marijuana. Uses of marijuana. Marijuana is not just used for medication, it's used for paper products, food, medicine, essential oils, nutritional supplements, livestock bedding, livestock feed, construction, body care products, molded plastics, and even textiles. So there are many uses for marijuana, not just medication. And it is the actual hemp within the marijuana plant that is extracted. Benefits of legalized marijuana. If we use medical marijuana, it's a lot safer than marijuana grown by a drug dealer or anything like that, because it's regulated by the FDA. It could help the economy because we can tax medical marijuana, and taxpayers wouldn't have to pay as much for residents on Medicaid or Medicare because medical marijuana is much cheaper than other drugs. It'd be used as medication. It would actually help people to feel better and relieve some symptoms of serious diseases and illnesses. if medical marijuana was legalized, then there would be less law enforcement expenses. We wouldn't have to pay as much for cops to go out and arrest people. And it would also lower court costs, which again is taxpayer money. They wouldn't have to have as many fees involved with court if medical marijuana was legalized. And we wouldn't have to pay for as many people to be in jail, which actually costs a lot. The opposing side claims that the drug is dangerous and addictive. Legal drugs are actually more harmful than medical marijuana, such as morphine. It affects the body in worse ways than medical marijuana does. It is hard to overdose on marijuana. You have to take 1,000 times more than your prescribed dosage to overdose. It is much safer than alcohol and far less addictive, and there's so many alcoholics in the U.S. today, so this could be a way to treat them also. And you can actually prove that marijuana is far more safe than alcohol by just thinking of what happens to people when they drink alcohol and become drunk, their attitude and their mood swings versus how people act when they have used medical marijuana. And it is actually less addictive than tobacco, and tobacco is in cigarettes, which is legal. This chart shows just how addicting marijuana can be when people call it a gateway drug. 21% of people who have ever tried tobacco become addicted to it. 11% of people who ever try alcohol become addicted to it. 7% of people who have tried heroin become addicted to it. And only 4% of people who have tried pot are dependent on it, not addicted. There's a difference between addicted and dependent. Dependent is in your mind thinking that you have to have it, and addicted is your brain and body telling you that you have to have it. These are all the states where medical marijuana is legal. New York was the 23rd state in 2014 to pass the law. If marijuana was legal, people would benefit from it, not only medically, but also economically. The economy would benefit. Families would benefit, because if someone was dealing with an illness and they used medical marijuana, they would become far less stressed and they wouldn't be as hostile as they were if they were on other certain medications. There would be limitations on users, such as not driving or operating any machinery, because that could be dangerous, just like as with any other drug, and there would be certain other drugs that you should not use while you're using marijuana. And there should be monthly doctor visits, just in case someone were to have an allergic reaction or anything like that, and also to document how medical marijuana was helping them. And there should also be research done on medical marijuana to show others that it can help. This is U.S. marijuana sales estimates 2011 to 2018. This will be if they taxed it and it was actually a legal drug everywhere. In 2014, they estimate $2.5 to $3 billion, and if everyone was to legalize it, in 2018, we could be seeing $4.5 to $6 billion. And these are my sources.